everyone, welcome to the Obsessed with Pickleball podcast. I'm Jane, I'm obsessed with pickleball, and I'm super excited because I have two guests today, Nico Valencia and Ashley Michalski. Michalski, you got it. Anyway, so guys, if people aren't obsessed with pickleball or live under a rock, they might not know who you are. All of our real fans will. But why don't you just like quickly introduce yourselves, who you are, how you got into pickleball, and like where we can find you online. Nico, why don't you start?
Yeah. All right, perfect. So Nico Valencia, but you probably know me online as Nico the Lefty. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, but primarily on TikTok. On Twitter. But I've been obsessed with pickleball for like 3 years. So I went to college in Utah, and Utah is like the place in the world for like dork games, if I can best describe it. Like they're like huge into Quidditch and weirdo things, right? And so while COVID was happening, all my friends in Utah were playing this dork game called Pickleball. And so I was like, they always have fun doing a bunch of fun, weird stuff. So there was like a 4th of July mixer in town. I'm from Reno, Nevada. So I dragged my parents and my brother to this 4th of July pickleball potluck and played, was decently okay. Well, you know, like maybe like 3-5-ish to start almost. And then got invited to like an open play and just like wandered on that court and like didn't leave for like 6 solid months, like kind of like, you know, Tom Hanks in Forrest Gump when he just goes running. And then I came back a pickleball obsessed guy.
And when did you start watching pro pickleball?
I started watching probably like 6 months to a year after I started playing. So I would say I have been watching for 2 years, maybe 2.5 years.
Cool. Ashley?
Hi, my name is Ashley Michalski. On Twitter, I'm ashpb. I also have a pickleball content account with one of my best friends, Bobby. That's called Two Pickleball Nerds. We were sponsored by Paddle Tech for a while, but recently just lost our sponsorship. They said they're going through a lot of stuff with their merger with like Pro XR. So I get it, you know, but we're still making content. Also Instagram and TikTok, I'm on there as well. I found pickleball in 2021. I was in the throes of postpartum depression. I had just recently had my daughter and just kind of lost myself in that. And at my local gym, I saw them playing pickleball, and I had played tennis in high school. And I was like, oh, okay, you know, this will keep me active. And I have been playing every day since that moment. I didn't find pro pickleball until about 2 years after that. I didn't know it existed until it was on YouTube. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got really into pro pickleball. I did a clinic with Anna Bright like 3 months after watching. So yeah, so that's why
I did an Anna and James clinic too. Was
so
James at yours?
So James was supposed to be at mine, but his stomach hurt. So he did not show up. But I'm fine with that. Anna was amazing. So that's why I'm always going to be like her number one fan, because she was just awesome to do a clinic with. And I'm going to support her every step of the way. And then it just kind of snowballed from there. And now I live tweet every MLP and PPA event.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. That's a really beautiful story about your discovery of pickleball. Thank you for sharing. I also believe that pickleball saved my life, so I can very much relate to what you're saying. And guys, I've been watching pro pickleball since 2020, so I don't know what you guys have been doing. Like, get it together.
I feel so far behind.
Wow. Like, you don't even know everything that you could know. I'm just kidding.
The first story I heard was when Catherine dropped Elise Jones.
Oh, that is so new.
I know.
That's so recent. Okay, story about that. I'm at Nationals. Listen to this craziness.
When it happened?
Yeah. So it was like in the desert near me, and it was my birthday on a Friday. And I didn't have work that day. I don't remember. But I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to drive there by myself and just get whatever. My friend ended up meeting me and went in a hotel, whatever. I was standing there like watching a side match when I hear some drama behind me. I turn, Lee Waters is being carried away because she just torn her ACL. And I'm like, obviously going to follow like what's happening here.
Right.
And like, you can, and like Connor Pardo's there talking to Annalie's dad. And they're like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? So it's like, she's not even at the doctor yet. And they're like, we have to get Annalie a new partner. When I tell you that I knew it was going to be Catherine within moments, like I just knew in my gut, I was like, it's going to be Catherine. And when it all went down, it was like it was the craziest thing. Like,
I think Catherine has one of the best teams behind her. You know, Athena's really fought to get Catherine to where she is, which was
I do think Catherine's very good.
Yes. I think I like that she's not playing with Annalie anymore because now she can kind of show us who she is without Annalie.
I've been a Catherine fan since before these other players were even around. When she was playing with Callie Smith, when her and Jessie were together, like, huge fan. Catherine's clinic was the first one I went to. She was so nice. And everyone definitely like freaked out when she played with Annalie Waters, and I didn't like it either. But I also like don't blame her because she was never going to play with Elise again. Right. She had to take this opportunity to win and win money. Like, it was not cool how she did it. I don't know how else she could have done it. But it was bad. I definitely think it was bad, but the way that the community like bullied her online for like 2 days, I was like, guys, this is like, I think that what she did is bad. And the reaction of everyone made me be like on her side. Like, everyone calm down. And then all
she had to like release a statement.
Like it was crazy.
I'm so sorry.
And then all the rumors about her like doing all these steroids, I was like,
I haven't heard anything about that.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, okay, these are like kind of funny or like interesting conversations that the league needs to have. But do these other players know that they're just like blindly throwing out steroid accusations with no proof? Like it like, what's it called? Like, escalated so quickly. I'm like, the league needs to make some rules. Like, this is not your job as other players to just like be like accusing people of being on drugs. Like, the league needs to do something. Anyway, I said we could get off topic.
It was really crazy before I popped in, which, I mean, it's pretty crazy now. You know, I think there's a lot of side storylines that you hear about that are
the thing is before when I first started going to tournaments, they were really small and the players were just like hanging out like next to you, just like talking. I'm like, you guys know people can hear you, right? Like, we hear everything you're saying.
I have another side story about that. I don't want to get like, but so Grand Rapids was when the news broke that Wang Yung, got dropped. My friend was sitting at a picnic table with the Mad Drops. Apparently they were talking mad shit about it. And they were just like really pissed that he kind of like screwed over their team. I don't know the exact details. This is like playing a game of telephone, like my friend's friend was sitting at the table with the Mad Drops when this happened.
I'm sure they were pissed.
Yeah. So little drama from Grand Rapids.
So when I was in at Lifetime San Clemente for the one of the MLPs, Ben was there. And I was like, his team's not playing. Colin's team not playing. What is he doing here? And then the Mad Drops announced like a week later. I'm like, I don't see how that could have been a connection. Okay.
Right.
But
he had to have known.
If you see it, it might be true. Okay. You never know. I have seen and heard crazier things that ended up being true. So we never know.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nico, do you have any life-altering, memorable, crazy pro pickleball moments that you want to share with the group?
Pro pickleball moments.
Lee Waters being carted off is one of mine for sure.
I mean, your sign at Gabe Tardio, that was pretty great.
Yeah, that's probably the highlight of my pro pickleball career. So if those of you who haven't seen it, you'll want to check it out. It's on socials, floating around there. If you find me, Nico the Lefty on Twitter or wherever, you'll probably find the sign. But So I was like, I wanted to make shirts, but I couldn't figure out how to get like that Cricut circuit, whatever, I like screen printer to work. So I was like, all right, I got to make a poster. So I went to MLP Dallas. And then I went to FedEx because I was like, all right, I have to make this poster somehow. And what it is it's a picture of Gabe Tardio at the airport. All right. Anna posted this photo on Twitter.
Jane, have you seen this? Have you seen the photo?
Sign?
Yeah.
Of his sign or yeah.
You saw it. Okay. Okay. I didn't know if you're about to be surprised.
So it's a photo of Gabe, at the airport, and apparently maybe his bag's too heavy. I don't know, but his suitcase is all the way open and he's giving someone a fist bump. And if you zoom into his suitcase, there's just a gigantic box of Durex condoms. And so I was like, this is the greatest photo ever. And the fact that it was like circulated by Anna Bright is fantastic. And so, my sign just said, why play soft when you can bang, with a picture of Gabe, with his gigantic suitcase full of condoms. And so, Ross Chaffetz comes over, before the game, says hi. Like, I didn't know that he knew who I was, but it's like, oh, thanks for coming. And I was like, okay, great. Anytime. And then I show him the sign. He's laughing. And then in like the middle of the women's game, I hold the sign up and he taps them both on the shoulder and he's like, and you just see Gabe is like, what is this? And then you see Ross whisper into Hayden's ear, and then Hayden just goes, it's a bunch of condoms, dude. and you just see Gabe go oh my gosh, what is this sign?
He looks so red.
Oh my gosh.
And bright red.
And for like 2 minutes, they're just laughing their asses off. And then I think my favorite thing about the photo is that if you look on the MLP official Instagram, when it has the match recaps, right? And it shows the picture of the team, and then it says, 11-6, 6-11, whatever it has the scores, right? Yes. The picture is of Gabe and Hayden just sitting on the bench laughing, and Gabe is just red as hell because it's the exact moment that they're just looking at this sign in game one. And, granted, Anna and Kate are getting blown off the court, but it's a little bit of a fun experience. And so that's my claim to fame in pro pickleball.
For now.
Yeah,
right.
You won't even remember this in a few weeks. There'll be so many more.
Oh, absolutely.
Now that you're on the Obsessed with Pickleball pod, I hope you get some security.
I'm hoping this opens some doors. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
For sure, it will. Okay, so this weekend, what did we think? What did we think about this weekend? Not really any actual playoff changes or matters, but what did you guys think? I actually really thought that the Slice was gonna get themselves in. I really thought
I think it was a big MLP year for James Ignatowicz, and he really kind of had to prove himself here if he could carry a team. He can't. And
what happened to Max Freeman that everyone told me I should watch out for?
I don't know much about Max Freeman. I'm going to be honest about that.
He was the talk of the town.
Yeah, because he was supposed to play with Ben Johns at one point, right?
Yeah. So
yeah, he was supposed to play. I don't know what happened. And I know if I see it all the time, Max Freeman beat Ben Shelton in tennis in straight sets in college, right? I'm like, I don't know what that has to do with pickleball. Right. But he's like a flash in the pan where every once in a while he does something amazing. I think maybe the last tournament or two tournaments ago, him and Vivian Glosman might have smoked somebody from the shock. So he's capable of pulling out of his ass an amazing win or amazing singles performance, but more often than not, it's kind of a bummer. And I think that whole team is personifies that bummer feeling where I'm I want more, do something. You have that meme of the stick. It's do something, I want you to do something. And I know that you can, but maybe it's time to give up on that group, on James. I don't know if James is the most overrated player in pickleball now, maybe. But he's getting there if he's not. And, so yeah, I don't know. I think the Shock probably played as good as, I don't think they're actually as good as we all thought they were. So they probably
I
good thing they're out of the
thought
playoffs.
Vivian Glassman was going to give them like a little like push, like a little bit of jolt to their chemistry. And I thought with Miami losing Noe and Millie, it was kind of an opening where they might be able to play well and get there. But I mean, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought when I saw Miami, I was like, maybe this will be an opening for the Slice to be able to get the points that they need. They were definitely they were there. But yeah, I guess James, I mean, ever since the breakup, it hasn't been going well for him. That's all I know about that.
Anna has carried that man for far too long. And
but not for a while.
Agree. Not for a while. No, but I agree with Viv Glassman. I thought, I mean, when she is on, like nothing can beat her. You know, she is solid. But then she has those moments where it's like she's hitting everything out. So I think there was team chemistry there, but I don't think the consistency was there on their team.
And I think the thing about them also is like they are people that enjoy being there more than winning. So like I always think about, I always like to think about James and Christian Alshon in like the same sentence because, you know, for the first like couple years, like Christian was the punching bag for James, always roasting him. Mm-hmm. But I always say Christian is somebody that would like run through a wall for the most part to like win a point, right? Like he would sacrifice whatever for pickleball. And James seems like the exact opposite, where he's like, I don't even know if I want to be here. I don't care. Like, I'm not sure. I make funny videos now. Mm-hmm. So like, I just don't know if his head is in it to like be a champion, if that makes sense. And I don't think that team has that mentality. So like, I think if you were just to replace one of those people, maybe one of the women on those teams with like a Georgia or an Anna or an Anna Lee, like somebody that's like, we win at all costs, like we die to win, like they might be able to pull it together, but there was nobody on that team that was like, nah, let's actually fight.
Because the Flames, I feel, is another like vibes team. Like they could have made the playoffs if they tried just a little bit harder.
No.
And on paper, they looked really...
Jack and Jeannie are bad at pickleball.
I know. Listen, I'm the number one Jack hater, okay? That I will say that until my last breath. But I think Jessie really tried towards the end, at least. If we got her on the Slice with Callie, I think they could do some good.
Callie has not changed the way she plays in 4 years.
Yeah.
Her dinks haven't gotten better. She slices her blocks. I think if Jessie was with Vivian Glassman, maybe she could be like the consistency to Viv's crazy. Mm-hmm. But I think you're right about James. Like if you have a player on your team that doesn't like really, really, really want to win and will do anything to win, I think in PPA, you can always blame partnerships. You know what I mean? And you can kind of check in for one day. But in MLP, like the winners are going to be the people who want to win and bring the energy to win. That like is why the Shock and the Flash are so scary, is because other teams are good too, but they're like scary intense. Mm-hmm. They want to win so badly that they will do whatever they need to win.
They're literally that's screaming.
Why, like Anna and Kate taking it off of Catherine and Jade in that huge match. One, I do think Catherine tends to not finish very well, but their intensity is like so crazy. They were not going to lose that no matter what. Even it was like the greatest match. I'm not taking away from how Catherine and Jade did, but if you had said it is a tight match, 14-16 who won, I would have bet the Shock. If you had said who won this game, it was 11-4, I would have bet Catherine and Jade.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I knew the Shock wasn't going to lose that either because they lost their only game previously to Catherine and Jade. Well, their whole match. And I mean, you can see the passion on that team. That's the difference, right? Between a Shock team and a Slice team. You can see I'm not going to lose. And I'm going to scream after every point. I don't care if you care. I want this. Whereas the other team, I mean, they're barely showing up. They're warming up 15 minutes before a match.
They might have a stomach ache.
Exactly.
That's the funny. I can't get that. I can't stop thinking about that comment that James was not at your thing because he had a stomach ache. Because like I have the 11-year-old son, and I'm just like growing up with him. Like anytime he's like not feeling up for something, he's like, my stomach hurts. Yeah. My stomach hurts. And I'm like, does it really hurt? Like, why does it always hurt at the perfect time? And I'm just like, it's not he's down with the flu or he's got an ailment. It's his stomach hurts. Like the funniest, it's like the quintessential James injury.
And it's crazy because like he was getting paid like good money. Like this was a private clinic. You know what I mean? And he was just like, no, my stomach hurts.
And yeah, that also really sucks because those are not cheap, those clinics. And they usually have the amount of people that you need 2 coaches with to get attention. Like I would be pissed if James didn't show up to my clinic when I did it with him and Anna. They are so different. I like their vibes are so different. I was like they're just so different. Okay. So, but yeah, the stomachache is hilarious. I will say something I loved about this weekend is I'm like so into Miami right now. Like will to win is there. Like they come and they want to win so badly. And I'm so happy that they were able to hold on to their playoff spot because obviously it's tough when you lose half your team. But I thought like Jay was hilarious the whole weekend. Like he was so fun to watch. I thought like Maya Bowie is really good. I love Tammy. I'm happy she's on that team. So if that's what we got out of this weekend is that Miami held on to their spot and Utah like at least put on a show, I thought it was a great tournament.
Yeah. Utah went undefeated. I think that's something that needs to be mentioned. I mean, they've never played that well before.
Well, they have Edda now.
Yes, but I don't know if she played amazing, but she has not been playing amazing. She didn't play amazing this year with the Ranchers or with her short time in the Hogs with Ben. She didn't play great either of those times.
I don't think she's the Edda she used to be. Like, I think she's kind of having like a little... She's still amazing, like, but just not as good as she has been in the past. But I still think for that, the chemistry for that team, all being Utah, she obviously has experience playing with all of those people. I think they're like a dangerous team going into the playoffs where they could do some upsets.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, me too. I think they can win their first round match. Whether or not they can compete in the second round or is that quarterfinals, like I'm not sure, but I don't think any team wants to pick them to play their first round match. You know, what is it? The first round is
So they're going to play the Ranchers or the Squeeze.
Okay. Yeah. So for instance, the Ranchers have the choice of who they're going to play. They're definitely not playing Utah, you know, and they used to be the laughing stock of.
Oh, yeah. Never mind. You're right. Those 4. I get very confused with the choosing of the opponents.
Yes. It is
so Ranchers as the 7th seed gets to pick either the 9th or 10th place team. And so I think they're for sure going to pick Miami, and then it'll actually be a pretty good match. The Squeeze against the Black Diamonds.
That is a good matchup because I think the Squeeze have a real women problem. I think that their women's team is not doing well. So I think Edda and Elise take that, which I think they probably would. Yeah, and then Squeeze has a good chance of winning the men's. And then if they can get it could go to a Dream Breaker, which I think is the best case for the Squeeze.
For sure. If it goes to Dream Breaker, Squeeze, I think, are pulling it out. And I think more often than not, it probably goes to a Dream Breaker. But for me, it's like the Squeeze is another one of those, like, kind of, I don't know if they're overrated or underperforming team, but I think it's a combination of Lacey can't be your number 1 female, I think, at this point in MLP. Their women are not great together. And I think that Dylan, unfortunately, might be one of the worst, like, first round picks from the original draft. You know, like, he was an expensive pick. I don't remember exactly where he went, 12th or something. I guess I know he wasn't 12th, but somewhere around there.
The one number.
The one number it was 12, but you know, he was an expensive pick and he can't win mixed. So
that's the thing is that I think him and Fed are winning a lot and they're a great men's team. But I think the issue with the Squeeze is they went man. Like, that's crazy to go man. Like, if you look at the top
high level female, you do.
If you look at the top 6 teams and the top 6 performing women's doubles teams, thank you, Real Clear Stats, it's the same. There's no top 6 team that doesn't have the best 2 women. So Dylan could potentially win mixed with a better woman. Fed should be winning mixed, but he's not always winning with Lacey. So you could have a team. There are a lot of teams whose second mixed teams aren't good. Like that is not abnormal, but going man messes you up because now you have a women's team that can't win and you have two mixed teams that may not win. Like your A isn't necessarily going to beat someone else's B, and that's a problem.
Yeah.
Any other takeaways from this weekend? Yeah, Squeeze has me worried. Black Diamonds look good.
I'd like to comment on the Grayson Golden game.
Great.
That was just a lot of fun to watch. He was playing like he had nothing to lose because he didn't. And that's what I love about MLP. And that's what I like about the subs. I wish all subs played at least one match like this. I hate that it's at the end when it doesn't matter. But that was one of the best matches of the year, I thought, in terms of entertainment.
Oh, Grayson Gold. Oh my goodness. That match was fantastic. And I have been a kind of a Grayson Golden hater originally, because the first time I saw him was like at an APP tournament, and he's got like a shirt with like a QR code linked to his Bitcoin wallet. And so I'm like, who is this guy? Like, what is this? Like, I don't know what this is, right? You know, he's unsponsored. And so whatever, that's actually smart. Maybe I'm just jealous I didn't think about it first. But and he's always like kind of intense, right? Like he hits really hard, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this guy, right? And so I'm watching him against Will Howes, and I'm just like, all right, I'm not the biggest Will Howes fan either, which is crazy.
I want to talk about.
Yeah,
because he's so great online on Twitter, but like when I watch him sometimes, I just can't get the hate out of my head. But so I'm like trying to decide who I'm rooting for or against or what's happening in this match. And I've never like Grayson was playing with like this unbridled joy, like. I know that this is not going to be happening in the playoffs. I know this is my one time. Doesn't mean too much. So I'm going to go out and have fun. And my God, that guy was ripping balls. I don't think I've ever seen people repeatedly get bagged by a drive at the baseline. Like he's got a hit.
Mari. He hit Mari multiple times, and she didn't know what to do. She was just like... No,
He hits so hard that you have to basically decide before he swings, am I going to let this ball go out, or am I going to just stand there and hit it, because you have no time. And they're playing in Salt Lake at like 5,000 feet elevation. So even though that ball's an inch over the net, probably going out, you're still like, I got to hit this ball. And they still couldn't even defend themselves. So it was fun to watch. I wish that would have gone to a Dream Breaker. I would have wished he lost just so that he could play in a Dream Breaker, and I could have gotten more. But I think that was highlight of the weekend.
Yeah.
Do you think that loss says anything about Will Howes without Emily?
No, I don't think so. I mean, if that match mattered in any way to anybody other than, Grayson and Allie, I think like maybe. And I think Will might be slightly overrated. Like, I mean, the fact he gets to play with Annalie and basically never lose, like, I mean, the only proof that you need that like that is the ultimate cheat code is Jack Sock, first PPA tournament, gold medal, mixed doubles, Annalie Waters. So, I don't know who can't do it, right?
But Will has had a ton of success in APP. He's triple crowning often. Jack never did any of that, So I think there is something to back up Will that he can hang.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's good. And I'd be interested to see what happens in an MLP event or on a team where he doesn't have Annalie. Like, how good is Will? I really have no idea, because he doesn't play enough PPAs.
Well, he's starting in next year. He's doing PPA next year. So I'm interested to see who he plays with too in PPA.
But Jim Kloss says he's a top 8 male player, and I think he even put him on.
It must be true. I always say it's opposite what Jim Kloss says. So.
Yeah, so he's bottom 8. But so he even put him, I think, on second team all MLP for his list that came out today. But I would say like Will Howes is good, but I'm still putting him in like 10 to 15 range.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wonder about that, because the idea that you would get that cocky when your partner's Annalie is so crazy.
I think he's cocky without her. If you watch
But
him,
I'm like, you're being so cocky. Obviously, you're going to win a lot. What are we talking about here? Without saying whether, I'm not placing him anywhere. Okay, I'm not like, I don't have enough data to know where he is. But to use that as a point, like as a talking point, like I'm top 10 because of my MLP results with Anna Lee and my APP results against no one else.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely skewed right now, I would say. That's why I'm really looking forward to next year.
Like funny.
See how he does.
I love it. I love it. It's so funny. Okay, so let's get into the season. What a season.
Yes.
After all is said and done, what did you guys think about all the changes? The side out scoring, the shorter season, the different home teams. Like, what did you think? How did it work out for you?
I love rally scoring. So that was a tough one. I don't mind side out scoring. I mean, it's still entertaining. So it's been fine. It's been entertaining, and I get why they did it. I didn't realize they were playing less games because I feel like they've been on quite the tear lately. It's like back-to-back MLPs. What is this, the fourth week in a row for MLP? Fourth or fifth week?
What do you mean less games?
Did you said they were playing less games?
No, the shorter season.
Oh,
like
shorter
it's
season.
Contained. Yeah.
Like
it's
April
every single week. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
been overwhelming as a fan, right? Because
I agree.
Like I'm almost burnt out from watching. So it's like, are they getting burnt out playing? And I think some of them definitely are.
It's tough because the MLP tournaments or their matchups are 4 days, right? Like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And if they're back to back to back to back, you have more pickleball days than non-pickleball days for like a full month straight. And so it just kind of blurs, right? And so I like a kind of condensed season. I think I would try and figure out how to not have back-to-back weekends of MLP. Either you have an off weekend or you have PPA in between, just so that I get like a little bit of a break. But
short season. What were you guys saying when I got kicked off with bad internet?
Oh, yeah. I think it got kicked off when I was saying, so with the short season, like I'm all okay with like the condensed season. Like it doesn't need to be 12 months. Maybe it's 4 months and you spread it out and you have alternating weekends. So I think like if you had a week off or a week of PPA in between, I think it would be a little bit more palatable for everybody, including the teams. I think it's hard to give all that energy repeatedly over and over and over again. So much so that even Christian Alshon looked like completely tapped at MLP Dallas to the point where he got benched last week. So I think I'm okay with having a season. I'm okay with it being primarily MLP. Just give us some break so we can,
well, I
get
have
up for
a
air,
conspiracy theory about it. So I have a big conspiracy that UPA is doing what it can to lesser the MLP product, and I will write a thesis paper on it and die on that hill. But I think doing it this way,
I agree with that,
gives us overload, right? So every weekend becomes less special because it's every single weekend. It makes it so nothing feels like you have to watch it. Like the stakes are really low. You do get I'm overwhelmed. Right. Whereas before it was like MLP was the best weekends ever, and now they're every weekend. So I think they do, and now it's over. So now you don't have PPA tournaments in between MLP events. So let's say I watch 2 PPA tournaments. Great, Anna Lee Triple Crown, so fun. Then I get an MLP and it's amazing. Okay. And I'm like, oh, that was so fun. Then I go watch another PPA where Anna Lee Triple Crowns. What do I think is cooler? Like, what's the better product there? MLP. This way we're not comparing. We're just getting all of our MLP at once, and like it or hate it, this is what you've got. Take it or leave it.
And I think it says something about these locations, right? Dallas, obviously a huge hit. I mean, that thing was packed. But then was it New York? I mean, that was on 4th of July. I thought it was terrible to have that during 4th of July weekend. There was like 10 people in the audience. And, people are seeing like, see, MLP, nobody likes MLP. But then you have huge success like Grand Rapids, Dallas. I think St. Louis was considered a success as well. The stands looked kind of empty, but I know it's a big arena as well. So I think they set themselves up for some success with MLP, but then they're like, keep pushing it to where they're not going to have that success long term.
What's so hard is like, I kind of get like where Jane's coming from. And I think about this all the time as well. Is like, will two competing products both survive, right? In pro pickleball, like there's no such thing as team tennis and there's not such thing as like individual, like other team sports. So I think pickleball can be successful in both, but you have the UPA that kind of was forced into continuing to maintain both products, right? And so, does it make more sense for them to kill one of them and then promote the PPA, and maybe the PPA becomes more profitable? And I think that might be what they think. But the other thing that's tough is like, you also kind of almost, you oversold a ton of team ownership. So I don't know how you do what they are trying to do. If they're trying to minimize MLP, I think they have a lot of headwinds because they have to fight against all the different league ownership. I don't think, the Chaffetz or anybody else is going to sit quietly while the league tries to sabotage.
So something that I
MLP.
compare
So,
pickleball a lot to, that I haven't really been able to figure out like how to put my thoughts into words about it, is the WNBA. Both new sports, both originally trying to follow in the footsteps of a bigger sport, the NBA and tennis, right? So the WNBA was just trying to do what the NBA did. And it's never going to work. You have years and years of establishment to fight against. Like, it's just not the same sport. So they've kind of veered into like doing their own thing and investing in the players and in the sport, but kind of having like a more fun, like, attitude about it. And what they have started is Unrivaled, which is a 3-on-3 separate league that the players started. And it reminds me a lot of MLP because it's fun. It's more exciting. It's a shorter season. It's more entertaining. It's like, but the reason why it works so well is because you already have your favorite players from the WNBA. So we have the players we love from the PPA. Then they go over and they do MLP, and now we like teams, home teams, and also teams that our players like. And maybe you've watched two people be rivals on the PPA tour, and now they're on the same team together. Like, they actually can work together very, very well, and it's possible to make both of them the best product possible. So I think that it can all work together to like help build storylines, like the storylines of, then you have it the reverse way. You have a PPA tournament, and now you're seeing like two partners on MLP playing against each other, right? Like, they can go hand in hand to improve both products and give us more storylines and more insight into the players. I just think there's a lot of egos involved.
I think that was really well said, Jane.
Yeah. I think about it a lot. Yeah, I think about really MLP and PPA a lot.
Yeah, I can tell. No, yeah. Yeah, it was
and
a very
I've just gotten really into the
WNBA.
I'm like a season ticket holder this season, and like, it's so fun. And it's fun because you meet the players.
Nice. Well, I live in Indiana. And so I was like, I want to see Caitlin Clark play so bad. So I might pop down there for a game.
Well, she's injured for the rest of the season.
What happened?
Yeah, because I was going to sell.
Hitter?
No, she like fell. I don't know. I was going to sell my Fever tickets for like a ton of money, and now,
man, I didn't know. Dang it!
I know. She'll be back. You'll get her next year.
Well, I'm moving to Orlando next year. So.
Oh, that's hot and fun.
I know. So so I'm moving to Orlando, and my husband is working for Advent Health.
Oh,
sponsors
cool.
Orlando Squeeze. So I'm like,
get some tickets.
Hoping I want to be the mascot. I want to walk around in that ball. The orange ball.
It probably smells so bad.
Way too hot.
And I'm probably too tall for it. They need someone probably Zhao Mei's size.
Yeah. That's so funny. That's so funny. Okay, so any of your biggest like surprises of the season, unexpected stars, like big upsets? Anything you guys can remember that, you loved? I loved the match where Hunter and QD just like drove the ball like psychopaths. I think it was against the Ranchers,
Was
right?
that in Daytona?
Against the Ranchers. I don't remember where it was. The weekends really blur together. That was fun and exciting.
Yes. I will say my biggest thing is I'm surprised how poor the Ranchers are doing this year. They got third last year.
What is Christian doing?
And I know Christian is like, I don't know if he's burnt out, but like Etta wasn't playing very well with Tina initially. I think that was kind of my biggest surprise so far, was that the Ranchers just didn't do great. I mean, Wyatt Stone came on and played amazing. We did. These subs are waiting for their time, and I like that storyline as well.
That was
these
good
subs are
from this weekend. Yeah. They're
just waiting for their moment to prove themselves, and a lot of them are. They got their shot, and they're not losing it.
I saw this Instagram story or something, I don't remember, where Wyatt Stone was like, because he used to play with Hayden a lot, so he like plays with all the used to play with all the LA people, and he was saying something like, these people that are on these teams, like I'm as good as them. So I think he's just been like fighting for this opportunity for so many years, because like people, like these kids are young, like Hayden's young. They've been playing professionally for so long, since they were really young. So he has been battling, going from team to team. So like it's so great he had that weekend. That makes me so happy. Have you seen
that picture of Hayden with Ben Johns? And Hayden's like 14. He's so tiny next to Ben.
I know, it's crazy.
And it's just like, he's going to beat Ben Johns in just a few years.
And look.
Look at him now. Not much taller.
Looks kind of the same. Okay, trades, guys. Let's talk about these trades that have gone down over the season. The Mari Megan trade, when that happened, I was like, the Black Diamonds are going for Megan. That's what's happening here. They're going to pay a lot for Megan. And I was wrong, but I wasn't totally wrong, because then they got Etta. Very similar. Mm-hmm. So technically, I think I was right. Do you agree?
Well, Connor Pardo came out and said, because he GM of the Black Diamonds, and he said initially that the Black Diamonds were going to go for Jade from the Mad Drops, and the Mad Drops didn't want to give her up. And then they found out that the Hogs were going to release Etta, and they're like, yeah, we'll take Etta.
But Etta went through the Mad Drops.
Yeah. I don't know.
So what do we think about that trade?
Yeah.
The Ben trade?
Yeah.
Nico, I'll let you go first.
What do you think about it?
I'm really glad that it happened for the sake of professional pickleball viewing, but I still can't wrap my head around like how that trade passes the sniff test in any way, shape, or form. Like I'm thinking, all right, we got this team that's basically trading away their best player for money. They have no incentive, and they've showed no desire to rebuild their team, to purchase anything. So they're just shelving this money. So like the incentive structure for owners is kind of interesting, which is what allows a trade like this to happen. But honestly, I couldn't be happier that there are now teams that are like really challenging the Shock and the Flash. So, and I still think that team is like a half step below everybody else, because in my opinion, and I hate to say this, Hunter, but I think you're just a notch below kind of all the other guys in the top mix, which is going to be what holds them back, I think.
But you have Ben Johns.
You do have Ben Johns.
And then you have the number one singles player in the world.
I feel like having Ben Johns isn't that great in MLP. Like people are like, but you have Ben Johns. I mean, he's been terrible in MLP, so like that doesn't hold a lot of weight with me. I mean, I think the Mad Drops are a lot better with Ben Johns, but having Ben Johns doesn't mean a win.
It doesn't, but doesn't mean 2 games and then a dream breaker.
But no, not to me. I mean, with what Ben's shown us in previous MLPs, no.
So the thing about it is, I don't think that Catherine and Ben are good for each other, and I don't think they're for sure win. But I said that I didn't think Ben's team was good when he was on Seattle with Etta and Megan and Tyler because they were so weak in a dream breaker, and they still somehow got it done. If they can just pull out 2 games and go to a dream breaker, I take them over most of the teams 3 out of 4 times. Okay, not every time. They lost a dream breaker to the Fives. I would switch Catherine and Jade in that order. If we're going to give up all of our points to Annalee, we might as well give them up to Jade. But I think Hunter being on Ben's team is actually like more beneficial than maybe someone else who's a better doubles player. But I could be wrong.
I get that.
I just think a lot of these top teams now are if you don't have a good dream breaker team going into the playoffs, you're so screwed.
Everybody has to be good at singles now. And that's what's great about MLP. PPA, a lot of them choose not to play singles. But MLP, you have to.
I just think as good as Hunter is at singles, I still think if you were able to swap Hunter for Eric Onsens.
Well, Eric Onsens is great at singles. I would love, that would be great.
No, but Eric Onsens is, he's no Hunter. He's good. I wouldn't call him great at singles, but I'm just thinking I don't trust Hunter to win as many mixed matches as he can. I don't know. And I also don't trust Ben and Hunter to win all their men's matches.
Oh, I don't think,
but someone like Eric could. So that's 2 losses. And then, possibly. And then, there's some bad matchups where, Catherine and Jade? Jade. Okay. I go into a nervous panic every time I think about them, but
left, right.
Catherine and Jade, they're great, but are they the favorites against, Anna Bright and Kate? No. Are they favorites against Annalee and Megan? I don't think so. And are they a toss up with Brooklyn,
Georgia or Tyra?
I think they're more likely to lose to Brooklyn than to the Shock. I think it can go either way with the Shock women. And depending on the consistency of the Mad Drops women, and if they can just target Kate and make her nervous, I think Brooklyn is tough for them because obviously they know each other so well and they're very similar. Megan and Annalee should win every single. At this point, with how much they've played together, they should be winning every match.
Megan's been playing really great too.
Yeah.
She's really stepped up. I want to circle back to the trade window real quick. I didn't get to speak
I want to hear more about that too.
I want to say with how late that trade window was, it's shady. It was a shady deal. And I just tweeted about this yesterday, I think, because Millie Rain, right? She worked her butt off for Miami. And now right before playoffs, she's on the squeeze fighting against Miami. And it just feels dirty. And it's hard to root for a team, right? What if you were a huge Miami Pickleball Club fan because of Millie or because of Noe? And now what? Now you got to cheer for the Fives.
It's very typical in sports, though, I guess. You can,
Is it?
I mean,
right before playoffs?
I don't really know.
Yeah, it's not.
But don't they do that in baseball all the time?
So baseball trade deadline, I think, just happened 3 days ago, and there's probably still another 50 games. Granted, they play 160 games, but there's probably another third of the season still to go with baseball. And so I would say 2/3 of the way through the season is probably when the trade deadline happens. What was interesting is there was a trade deadline that was happening when some teams were completely done playing. Their whole season was over. Brooklyn didn't play another match, I don't think. And they're making trades. So I think the thing is hard is MLP is so they're not set in stone, and so they're just trying to figure out how do we survive day to day with our structure, organization, what are we doing? And so I think they see the opportunity to be putting Ben on the Mad Drops is going to be super fantastic for MLP. So let's figure out how to make this happen. So I don't know if it's if it's shady or if it's opportunistic or what, but I think they saw an opportunity to make sure that they got the most valuable player on a playoff team, right? And so Ben is still, love him or hate him, is still either the biggest or second biggest draw when it comes to viewership online. So now he's on a team that people think can win it all. So, I don't fault MLP for what they did. I don't think it necessarily is super fair to some of those other teams. And so I think as MLP continues to figure out what the season looks like and how long it is, they'll probably have more structure around this. But I think right now it's still wild, wild west MLP.
I agree with that, because how can you have an MLP playoff? Who's watching if your top men's player isn't even in the draw?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I want to watch Ben Johns. Oh, he didn't make it to the playoffs. How do you explain that?
No, totally. It's definitely shady, but PPA has manipulated things for the product before, which you cannot blame them. Ultimately, whatever, we're in capitalism, right? They're thinking about their product, and having these players get lost in the shuffle is bad. That's why I was I really thought that we were going to get these top 10 teams, which were all strong. We're going to elevate some challenger teams. I would elevate Las Vegas and maybe do a little trade.
Yeah.
Maybe we somehow get Jaume instead of James Delgado or something like that. You know what I mean? We can do a little manipulation here and get solid 12 teams maybe, and just get rid of some of these teams. But now we've added a whole nother team. So yes. I'm I don't know what we're doing here. There was a chance to have such a good product, a real premier level and a real challenger level, how it was supposed to be. Now you have premier level players hanging out in challenger, and you have random people in premier. So now we have 10 really strong teams, but now we're back to where we were, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen next, because I never know what MLP is going to do. So if in my head, I'm what, they might just scratch some of these teams, buy them out, have a better product. It could happen. There are no rules. It's the wild, wild west. We don't know. But now there's another team, so I don't know what the plan is.
I do not know their plan either, but I do think we need less premier teams to have a high quality product, because a lot of these premier teams, like you said, they're not premier players.
It's just so tough with how they have sold the teams. One owner, I don't think MLP has enough money to sell or to buy back teams, because those owners are going to demand a pretty penny for that. I think my understanding is that the Palm Beach Royals are one of the teams that the league did buy back originally, that there's basically two teams that need to be placed back into MLP. I could be completely off, and then these owners, none of them want their team to be in Challenger if there is going to be incentive for good teams, or, if it's not just a collective pool of money. So I think what's going to eventually end up happening, sadly, is they're just going to put more and more teams in Challenger, and in Premier, and you're going to have 20 teams in Premier, possibly no Challenger for the foreseeable future. And then I think what just needs to happen is they need to figure out ways to, if they are not going to eliminate the amount of teams, they need to distribute the talent a little bit better. And so, one, you have to figure out what's the incentive for an owner to have a good team, so they actually try. And then two, how do you create levers so that a team can trade Ben Johns and then figure out how to use assets to build a better team? And so they got a ton of money now. Hopefully there's incentive next year for them to pick up a couple players, because the Shock have to give up either Anna, Hayden, or Gabe, and Dallas has to give up either Tyra, JW, or Georgia. You take that team. Let's just say you take the Carolina Hogs and say, now use that $400,000 on those two players. Their team is immediately a top level team.
Yeah.
And that might be that probably is the plan for a lot of these teams. And that's what we'll see next year. I just think there's a chance here to improve the product. And, that would look like maybe pissing off some owners. So you just have to decide, are we pissing off the owners, or are we investing in what we think could be an amazing product? And that's the two options, because right now having these events with a bunch of matches that don't matter it looks crazy.
Yeah.
If you tune in and you watch that, you're this is stupid.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Okay, let's talk fives really fast. What do we think about the Mari pickup, and what do we think about the Zane benching? Ashley, I saw that you tweeted, is this really an upgrade, putting Zane on the bench?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, listen, Noe and Jay beat the crap out of Zane and Will at the midseason tournament. And so I can see why they were like, listen, if we want to beat JW and Augie or Gabe and Hayden, we have to make some changes. Noe has not been impressive the past couple tournaments with the fives. He just straight up hasn't been playing well. And I don't think a lot of that is on him, right? There's a lot of pressure. All right, all of a sudden you're the starter on the fives, number 3 seed, and you're expected to play amazing and your best at all times. I don't see it as an upgrade currently. I think Zane and Will had great chemistry. They played together last year. They made it to the finals last year. They were the 3 seed before they even drafted Noe. Mm-hmm. So I thought they were doing fine. Noe and Megan playing terribly together. Megan's been killing it with Annalie, obviously. And I thought she was doing fine with Zane. So far, this trade isn't making sense to me.
Yeah. Nico, what do you think?
So I think it, when I saw it, immediately happened. Like I thought, oh, wow, this is an upgrade and this team is scary. I think Noe is a fantastic singles player. He's, has a much higher ceiling than Zane when it comes to, what he could produce on a game-to-game basis. Like he has more to go, like this year, next year, et cetera. I think Zane is basically as good as he will ever be. And so I think you can get more out of Noe, right? Right now, kind of the lows have been a little bit lower than expected, but I don't necessarily know how much better Zane would have done in the last 2 tournaments. I think that right now Noe's playing at a clip where there's no real justification for him playing versus Zane. But I think if I am another team and you said, what scares you more? I think Noe scares every other team more than playing against Zane would scare them. So I think that's one thing. And the other thing is, when it comes to the trade, if you look at this from like we build our team for the future, the fives can drop Zane and Noe is extremely cheap. So they're going to get to keep Noe for next year and Annalie and Will and Megan, I believe, drop Zane, have a juggernaut team for next year when every other team is losing a star player. They will lose their captain, but they'll also lose, somebody that's on the bench, and they'll immediately be, I think, the favorites to win next year if they don't win this year.
So they are allowed to drop Zane because every team has to drop one of their original 4 drafted. Why are they allowed to drop Zane and other people aren't allowed to drop bench players?
That's what I was just going to ask. Like, that's confusing because everyone be dropping bench players.
So one of their original 4, so I think it had to be one of their players originally drafted last year. So the Shock had, Anna Bright, Hayden, Gabe, and Kate, right? So they had to drop Kate. They dropped Kate, right? They picked her back up. One of those other 3 players has to be dropped this year. So they can keep Kate because they picked her up this year, but they have to drop one of the other 3.
So it's the 3 original.
3 original.
3
yeah. So they don't have to drop a bench player. They have to drop one of the 3 original. So that's why the Shock have to drop one of those 3. The other team has to drop one of those 3. But the 3 original players from the fives are Zane, Annalie, and Will. Because Mari was dropped and then traded for, so they can keep Megan, but they can't keep, and they can drop Zane.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. That's very smart to grab someone now rather than waiting. My question is, for the playoffs coming up, Noe is much scarier. He has a much higher ceiling. All of that stuff is true. Zane has so much proven track record of winning MLP. Like, he has that fight in him. If we're talking about 2 weeks from now, is it better to give Zane a chance? Think about when the Squeeze beat DC and Zane said, put me against Riley, and went out there and beat Riley. Nobody thought it would happen. Beat Riley. bringing in Anna second to win. Last year, they lost to the Flash like on like Dream Breakers. Like it was so evenly matched. It wasn't like Zayn's fault. And Zayn played great in a lot of the Dream Breakers, right? So I just don't know right now if it's a wasted opportunity to give Zayn another chance, or maybe they're going to experiment both ways. If Noe came out and was like this amazing player, because I agree he's weak in mixed. He's new. He's still so new. Mixed is the hardest thing for someone to get good at, both men and women, in my opinion. Yeah. So do we keep Zayn? Is his ability to win MLP and his fire maybe as valuable as Noe's ceiling for this playoff?
I do think they are trying to mix it up from last year. I don't think they want a repeat of last year, even though, I mean, they were so close. I mean, so close last year. And I mean, they probably just got to that point where they're like, we just need to mix it up a little bit. And I think that's why they drafted Mari, right? Is because, well, she's used to playing with Anna Lee. We can pop her in if Megan's not doing well, which is also a great strategy. It hasn't worked great yet, but they have that on their bench.
I think them bringing in Mari has made Megan play better because she's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
You're not setting me out again.
No. You do not put me in the corner. I'm not going to put on my super cute outfit and my hat and sit here. Like she was like such a slay. She was just like.
She was so pissed.
And she like had like a full beat on. Like she looked so gorgeous. And she was just like, and then they lost. And she's like,
I thought she was staring at me. I was like, oh, I didn't do anything.
I didn't do it. Don't look at me. I didn't do it. So funny. That's so funny. Okay, guys, let's move into the playoffs because we've been talking for a really long time. What do you guys think? Shock, Flash, finals? What do we think?
No, I think the Flash are going to get upset. I think the Shock are the team to beat. To be quite honest, I'm notorious Shock Homer fanboy myself. But I think they'll be in the finals. And then I think it's either going to be the Mad Drops or the Fives that come through. So
I feel like the Mad Drops is a good pick because it's almost unexpected.
So the way that I was looking at the way that it's all going to go down, and it's so confusing with the choosing. So I think, okay, so essentially, like, let's say we go chalk in the beginning, right? And the Shock and the Flash beat like the Squeeze in Utah or whatever. And then what everyone's saying is that the Fives will choose the Sliders over the Mad Drops, leaving Brooklyn and the Mad Drops, and then the Sliders and the Fives in like that second round.
Yeah.
We don't know if that's true. The Fives could pick the Mad Drops. They just beat the Mad Drops. We don't know. But I guess, okay, do the Fives beat the Sliders? Like, do they beat them for sure?
This is another tough one. The Sliders have kind of been a dark horse for this whole thing. They had a really bumpy start to the season. And then I think Leia's going to be kind of the wild card.
She is 100%. 100%.
And that's the thing with playoffs. You can either be on or you can be off, and we won't know until that day. So if Leia's on it, I mean, once again, she's going to be great. Her and Paris work really well together when they're on. Honestly, same thing about Andre and CJ. You know, with that lefty, Nico, I'm sure you know about this. Sometimes communication gets lost and you were like, oh, I thought you were taking that middle ball, or, oh no, that you're left-handed, you take that middle ball. I don't think being left-handed is the advantage a lot of people say it is sometimes, because you get a lot of questions in the middle. And I see that with CJ and Andre.
Yeah, I think that CJ and Andre could definitely beat the boys. And then I think the Fives will go A versus B because they usually do that, you know, like they put Annalie against maybe CJ and Leia. So most likely, I think with the Fives, since they're higher seed and they're going to be the home team and they get to choose, I think most of the matchups are going to go Dreambreaker. And then that's the question, like, can Paris and Leia get enough points off of the girls to even out the boys? Like if Annalie goes 0-4-3-1 on Paris, Megan come out there and beat Leia, because exactly what you're saying, like she's the wild card. Yeah. She can either win all her singles points or lose all her singles points.
Yep. Yep. I would personally choose the fives over the sliders. I think they've shown more consistency over the season. Even in a dream breaker, Megan's been getting some points on dream breakers. So that's my pick. I would choose the sliders over Mad Drops. You don't want to go up Ben Johns first. And
yeah, Nico, what do you think?
So I think I'm probably on board with all this, except I think that the fives go A team versus A team in mixed. So I don't think the fives want to play a dream breaker with the sliders. Whether they're favored or not it's close, right? So I actually disagree. I think Megan is a liability in a dream breaker, especially against the sliders. Like I could see it if you're playing like maybe one of the only two people that Annalee doesn't necessarily want to play, like isn't like salivating at, is Paris Todd or like Kate Fahey, right? So it's like, let's just say she goes 3-1 against Paris both times, right? Like, 6-2. There is a world where Leia just rolls Megan, right? And so that kind of is a wash. And then you got to rely on your guys to beat, CJ and Andre. And I think that that's still possible, but I would say that they're not playing for a dream breaker because I wouldn't say that they're super confident. So I would expect Annalee to go out and beat Paris and Andre. Okay. So that's what I think would happen, but I still think the fives are going to win probably. I think they win in regulation because I also think that CJ and Leia have not been as good as I expect. So I would say, like, as much as I think CJ and Leia should win that B matchup, like, it's not a guarantee. Mm-hmm. And so I think Dreambreaker favors the fives slightly, and I think that there's probably a 50-50 chance that the fives also could go 3-1 against the sliders.
CJ is, if CJ's playing well, they win that matchup, and CJ can be a scary good singles player. But you're right. Like, the sliders are more of a question mark how they're going to show up. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then the fives in Brooklyn? What do we think? That's tough.
Oh, the Mad Drops Brooklyn?
That's tough. I think if the Brooklyn women win, then you have a lot of pressure on Ben, and I think he can lose both of those. And but we haven't seen Deckel play. What's going on?
I was just gonna say, when did Deckel play last? A month ago? Month and a half ago? I don't know. Is the chemistry there with Riley right now? Riley has not been playing great. He got pickled with his sister in the PPA, 2 pickles in a row.
Lindsay never practices. Yes. She has 1,000 kids. She literally just shows up. Like,
I do not put this on Lindsay at all. This is not on Lindsay. This is on Riley.
Lindsay Newman's one of my favorite players of all time. I did a clinic with Riley and Lindsay, and I will say, like, if you do a clinic with anyone, it should be Riley and Lindsay. They're so funny, and Lindsay's just amazing. But no,
this is on Riley.
No, Riley is not Riley. Like, but no. But he was also playing with somebody who probably plays with their children, like their 4-year-olds.
That is fair. But I feel like he is still trying to take up so much of the court, even in men's, that he's not trusting his partner at all, who's Deckel Barr, and he's getting burned. And he'll just keep doing that, thinking, I'm going to jam this person up. I'm going to body bag him. And the hands are just too fast now.
Yeah,
you're not going to get him.
His grip makes his hands slow.
Exactly. So he's getting tagged more than he's trying to tag people. And I think it's going to lead to some inconsistencies. And then does he play with Jackie?
Yes.
So he plays with Jackie. Yeah. I mean, Jackie's so solid. I mean, she just has to sit on that forehand. I'm going to say Riley's the wild card of Brooklyn right now, but also Deckel, because we haven't seen him play.
Do Jackie and Riley beat Hunter and Jade? This is for you, Nico.
Yes, 100%. So here's my thoughts on this one. I actually, had been a Riley hater for quite some time because I think Riley makes a lot of weird decisions, right? Like I can never stop thinking about the fact that Riley left his paddle company to join a water bottle company that then made a paddle, right? And like he's got his like super cringe videos that are like, this is my new sponsor, this is my new partner, whatever. And so it's very interesting. But
that was the best.
I think it's actually after like the first event, I think Riley started to play much better. And so I think that their men's team is very good. I think that both of their mixed teams are super good. And I think their women's team is good. I think they're not built for a dream breaker. But the biggest problem is I think that the Mad Drops are a really bad matchup specifically for Brooklyn.
Agree.
For a couple of reasons. One is I think that Riley Newman knows that Ben's his daddy, right? So I think Riley doesn't have it in him to beat Ben like anymore. Like he did, and then he lost so many times he had to leave his partner. He's been losing to him ever since. And so I think that Ben and Hunter have a good chance of beating Riley and Deckel, even though they're really good. I think Ben for sure is going to win his mixed matchup as well. And I think the women are a toss-up, right? So I could see it going Dreambreaker. I could see it going 3-1 Mad Drops. But I don't see a world where it's 3-1 Brooklyn. And that's what has to happen in order for Brooklyn to have any chance of advancing. It has to be 3-1.
They'll lose the Dreambreaker.
They will never win a Dreambreaker against the Mad Drops.
I think Declan and Rachel could beat Ben and Catherine. Ben and Catherine don't play well together.
Why do you think that is?
You got a good point.
They just have never historically played well together. Like, never.
Do you remember, Jane, I think it was Nationals?
No, of course I remember.
3 years ago?
Of course I remember.
And Ben played with Catherine and Riley played with Anna Lee. And Riley and Anna Lee beat the ever-living shit out of Ben and Catherine. Just killed them.
Oh, that was long ago. I remember that.
But it was like we scored like a combined 5 points
and
against
Anna
them.
Lee was just blowing Ben's backhand up. After that, I think the whole world saw what his weakness was and he started working on it. But she was just blowing up. She was speeding up to his backhand and he would just go and miss. And Catherine, I think she is an emotional player, and I think she got very, very nervous playing with him. Later, they lost in the round of 16 to Julian Arnold and Mary Brasha, and she couldn't hit the ball over the net. So I actually think Rachel and Deckel, with their chemistry and being very clutch players, have a chance of beating Ben and Catherine. I go A-B against if I'm the Mad Drops, I think. I don't think I want to risk putting Ben against Deckel and Rachel.
But then you're risking a Dreambreaker.
Yeah, if I'm the Mad Drops, I welcome a Dreambreaker if I'm the Mad Drops.
That is true. Yeah, because
100%.
Brooklyn's not winning a Dreambreaker.
I also think that there's a world where Brooklyn wins that matchup outright. Like, it could happen. Like, the more I think about it, I'm like, all right, they could win both mixed matchups, and they could win. They could go 4-0, right? Like, that team is good enough to go 4-0 against pretty much any team. They could also go 0-4. I think, actually, I don't think they're losing to Hunter and Jade. Like, I think Hunter and Jade are going to lose their mixed matchup regardless of who they play. So you want to figure out who Ben can beat, whether it be Riley or
that's what I'm saying. If I'm the Mad Drops, I go A-B. That way, I'm guaranteeing at least one game, and then I just need the women or the men to win. Both have a good chance. That being said, no, the problem is Jackie and Jade are so similar, the way that they play in terms of their skill level, that then you're just doing Riley against Hunter and it is just a mess. So
same for women's, Jade and Jackie know each other so well. And I mean, they have a lot of the same shots. They practice together. So,
but Catherine and Rachel,
that's going to be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. So fun. That's so fun. I really hope we get to see that. I love that.
Yes.
And I like both of those. I like when those teams play against each other, because they're very intense, but they all like each other. Like, they're having fun when they're playing. And I think they have some good vibes. So
it's fun.
What do we think the semifinals are then?
Okay.
Fives, Shock, Flash, and who are you going with?
Mad Drops.
Mad Drops? You're going Mad Drops?
I'm going Mad Drops.
It's hard to gamble against Ben. But but now that I'm talking out the options, Brooklyn sounded good. I just wish we had seen Deckel play.
Yes. And that's why I'm going to go with Mad Drops as well, is because they've shown us that consistency and that high level play. Brooklyn's been great. We haven't seen their top player in a month now. Yeah. And there's a lot of variables in this, but I'm going those top four.
I'm going to throw this out here, though. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that the Ranchers beat the Flash.
Ooh la la.
What?
Ooh la la. Let's talk about it.
A hot take right there.
Okay, men win.
Yes.
Let's say men. J-Dub and Augie can't win a game.
All right.
No.
You think the Ranchers are going to beat the Flash?
Okay, women win. How are you getting this? How are you getting here? Is there a dream breaker?
Let's hear about this, Nico.
All right. So women win. So Georgia and Tyra win. I think that's pretty likely, like 95%, right? I think that Christian and Eric are the favorites against Augie and J-Dub. Like, I as Augie is like the nicest guy ever, but I'm like the number one Augie is overrated, commentator here. Like, I just don't think he's as good as everybody thinks he is. Like, he loses way more than I think he should. So I think they lose men. And then I think that there's a world where, even like Christian and Caitlin or Eric and Tina can beat JW and Georgia. Like, I think that they play such aggressive, high variance pickleball that's a team that could beat them. Like, the more consistent you are, the less likely you are to beat JW and Georgia. But the more like full throttle you are, I think the more likely you are to beat them. So I think they could be beat. And I think that Tyra and Augie are also an extremely beatable team by either of those two.
I don't disagree about what you're saying about Augie, but I think that J-Dub also needs to be more alpha in all his men's partnerships. But I think the problem with the mixed is I don't see Tina and Caitlin as being consistent enough for as long of amount of time. Like, Eric Onson's going after J-Dub and Georgia is going after J-Dub and Georgia. They're both there. J-Dub and Georgia going after the other team, they don't have like the return power that Georgia has. So like Tina and Caitlin are going to dink and stuff. Caitlin is not like, she's not a very consistent dinker at this point. She's still figuring out mixed, in my opinion. So I think if Georgia and J-Dub play, I think they win both. I think it would be a huge upset.
Yeah, I think that's an insane take, Nico. I don't even want to, say anything about this. Listen, anything can happen in playoffs. That's what we're talking about. The Ranchers could have a really on day. Caitlin Christian, they drafted her for the Dream Breaker, right? She's not a great overall mixed player. So she's the wild card for sure. Do they beat Georgia, JW? Augie, listen, he won last year. So to say, oh, he's not as great, he's holding his own currently.
And they weren't the favorites last year.
No. The Flash are going to beat the Ranchers. And that can be
Who would you rather have? Who's the worst men's mixed player out of those two teams? Is it Augie?
Well, yeah, I think it depends which tournament, right? Because Eric Onson's can play terribly sometimes. Christian Alshon hasn't been playing great either, I would say.
That's true, but I also think that Christian, maybe I'm on an island here, but Christian might be just as good of a mixed player as J-Dub.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
You might have the two best men's mixed players on the Ranchers. And then you have the two best women's mixed players on the Flash. But I think Tina Pisnik is close enough to those two to where maybe they can pull something
Christian
off.
May be as good of a mixed partner as J-Dub. Eric Onson's is very hit or miss with mix. Sometimes he's the most amazing mixed players. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Whatever. They don't have Georgia and Tyra. You don't have a Georgia J-Dub combo, the number 2 team, the PPI, who know each other so well, who both Georgia's will to win is crazy. And then you might say Augie's the weakest men's mixed player, but I would argue Tyra could be the strongest women's mixed player. The way she dominates on the left helps make up for Augie. Do I think Augie and Tyra are definitely going to beat either of those two mixed teams? No. But did we think they were going to beat Annalie and Will last year? No. They have a will to win the way the Shock do. And I think, yes, we can compare the men, but having Tyra and Georgia in mixed, having their offense that neither Tina nor Caitlin Christian have is a huge asset. Also, just like don't talk about Georgia unless it's only praising.
Yeah. Georgia's going to
I don't care about anything else. They have Georgia. I don't care about anything else.
It's she's so funny because like if everybody's like, we hate screaming, and she is one of the most over screamers out of anybody. She lives in this bubble that is without criticism.
I'll tell you how.
And
it's the hair bows.
Georgia?
It's the hair bows and the fact that we still see her as 15, and she doesn't yell at the other team. She yells like to herself and to her partner. So it's like, and the only time she yells at the other team is when it's like a douchebag like Christian. You know what I mean? Like it feels very like deserved. But somehow,
right, like you're not gonna get me.
She's just so likable. Yeah. It's just like she's just. They're all likable. I don't know, but it's like she has like her hair bows, and she's J-Dub's little sister, and like Julie's there.
When she
like
gives him hugs.
Yeah, when she hugs him,
she jumps up and down like really like happy, like like she's got a very like happy energy to her. Whereas like you have Anna Bright as like the opposite, whereas she has the same like amount of yelling. I don't think she yells too much in the opponent's face, but like Anna Bright needs to be mad at the other team to win, whereas Georgia basically just needs to have high energy and be happy.
Totally.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, well put.
So when I listened to Maddie Pickles' podcast with Anna, she kind of implied that the Shock would choose the fives over the Mad Drops if given that choice. She thinks they have the fives number. So if that's the case, and we have the Flash versus the Mad Drops and the Shock versus the fives, who do we think's going to the championships?
Well, I think the Flash over the Mad Drops, and then the Shock over the fives. Just what the season has shown us so far. It's so tough talking about playoffs because I do think a lot of people elevate their game. They're like, this is the playoffs. This is the time to play good right now. I'm still saying Shock take it all. I think they have the most team chemistry, but so do the Flash. Like I'm really torn on that.
I think
Go ahead.
No, keep going.
Oh, I was going to say, well, I really like the fives too. They were very kind to me at Grand Rapids, and I got to do a meet and greet with them and talk to all of them.
Guys, everyone should be kind.
They were very kind, and they gave me a Zane signature paddle. Like they didn't have to do any of that, but they did. And so I'm like, and Will Howells went to Notre Dame. I live right by Notre Dame. My husband went there. My son goes there now. So I'm like, I have to be fans of this team. And so I do think they'll be third overall, but Noe's throwing in a wrench for me because I don't know enough about him and the fives as a whole and how they will perform. But I do think we're going to see the Flash and the Shock in the final.
I think the Mad Drops is the worst possible matchup for the Flash. The worst. Because the Flash has a dream breaker problem.
Yes. And Georgia, if she plays against Ben in mixed, she wants to beat him so badly. She'll make bad shots in order to like, I got you, I got a shot on you. I got a point on you. And she's way too aggressive in the middle when J-Dub's forehand is sitting in the middle. Like she's all out, she's like, I am going to kill this ball, and she really has to let J-Dub come over and get those.
All right, Nico, what do you think? Who's going to the finals?
I think it's a mistake that the Shock picked the five. I'm just going to go out and say, if I was the Shock, I would want to play the Mad Drops.
No one says this is definitely going to happen. This was just the implication.
Right.
Okay.
What did Anna say though? I didn't hear that.
She was saying how she thinks like the Shock men definitely beat the fives men. She was saying how her and Kate have beaten Anna and Anna Lee, and like that they have more opportunities in mixed. I agree with vague. That. Okay, this was vague, and I also think that the Shock has them in a dream breaker with Kate Fahey. If I'm them, I'm picking the fives because I think my men have a good shot in the dream breaker, whereas they wouldn't have a good shot against Hunter and Ben. And then they have Kate Fahey can get points off of Anna Lee, and then Megan and Anna, I give it to Anna. So anyway, Nico, what were you saying?
Okay, so that makes sense. I still am not sure what I would do if I were those two teams, and sometimes it's almost like better to not have the choice. You just let the other, because I think that it's kind of a toss up between the fives and the mad drops, or it's like if you're the Flash, you get to just be like, no, that's who was left, and the other team doesn't have any added incentive. There's no bulletin board material. They chose us, they hate us, whatever. But I think that the Shock beat the Mad Drops. I think that Ben and Hunter have basically zero chance against Hayden and Hayden and Gabe, because I think that Ben is afraid of Gabe. Like, that's why he picked him as his partner, right? He's like, I never want to play against you ever again, so you are on my team now, right? So I think that the only player on tour that Ben is like afraid of is Gabe, and Hunter's not doing anything, I think, in men's in that situation. So I think they win that matchup. I think their women win that matchup as well. And then I think, so I don't think that's even going to go to a dream breaker. So Wait, that's not who we were even talking about.
Good,
oh
though.
My gosh, sorry.
That's true.
So that's what I think. That's what I think would happen, right? But I guess to your point, you said that they want to pick the five. So now I got to recalibrate this. So they're playing the fives. I think that's such a toss up, and I think it comes down to slight edge Shock, only because the one weak link in a dream breaker is Megan Dazan, right? Like, she's a significant downgrade from everybody else in when it comes to dream breakers. Like, if you see like Will against Hayden, neck and neck. Noe against Gabe is close. Kate against Anna Lee, close-ish, and then I just think Anna Bright against Megan is a blowout in my head. So I think Shock take that, and then I think the Mad Drops beat the Flash. If I think that the Ranchers have a chance against the Flash, you obviously know that I don't hold them in as high regard as most people. And I think that they're vulnerable. And I think that they were like riding on kind of the aura of, we won last season's title and everybody's slightly afraid of us. And as soon as they got beat, it seemed like they got beat a couple more times. And now they no longer look invincible. And I think other teams are no longer afraid like they once were. And I think that was worth a couple of points, that aura of, we are unbeatable. Right? People are asking, will the Flash ever lose? And now they've lost 3 times, right? So I think that they lose to the Mad Drops, because I don't think that they can win a Dream Breaker, and I think that it goes 2-2. And so you have Mad Drops versus the Shock in the finals.
I agree that the Flash have a really big Dream Breaker problem against the Mad Drops, and I do think they peaked way too early in the season, whereas I think the Shock are peaking right now. So I definitely agree with you.
I'm glad the Flash peaked when they did, though, right? Because there was a lot of pressure to remain undefeated. And then they lost, and now that pressure's kind of off.
Yeah.
And so going into the playoffs, they're like, okay, yep, we got the 2nd seed, and we're just going to do our best. So I think, if anything, losing is actually going to help them win.
I love that take. That's my favorite take. So basically, yes, they're going to win. Okay, that's my favorite take.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do think that ultimately, yes, the Shock are the team to beat. I want them to pick the fives because I want that matchup. Like, they hate each other. We have to see it.
Yes.
Okay, guys.
That was like one of the most like energetic MLPs, right? Was the Shock versus the fives the first time.
Do we think, like, if anyone was going to like brawl during the playoffs, like, who would it be?
Oh my God, Hayden.
Do you think like Hayden and Anna Lee rematch?
I mean, they're both fiery. I feel like it could be Hayden and anybody.
What if it was
Hayden
like
against
Christian
anybody?
and CJ? Like, I could also see that, like, coming to blows.
CJ is like, he's so sweet though. He doesn't talk like direct crap to people, but he just does like the little arm raise, like, yeah. You tell him.
That would be so funny. That would be funny.
Nobody come at CJ.
I think Gabe and Hayden pick on Hunter and get under his skin, and then Hunter blows up. I can see that happening.
Story about was it Hunter or Yates? They were on the Smash last year when Michelle Esquivel called that ball out that was like 3 feet in. they got so emotional about it. They lost the game because they were just trying to hit Michelle afterwards. And so you can see how like a bad call like that, like it does get under players' skin and they just spiral and lose and they lost.
So emotional. These boys, so emotional.
Yes, these men, really, gosh.
Okay, you guys, we just talked for so long about MLP as one does. As one does. Any last minute predictions for the playoffs? Anything crazy we're going to see? What's like the wildest prediction? And if it comes true, like you would just be some kind of genius psychic. I'm going to think about something. I'm going to think about one for a second.
Well, I think the weirdest one to come true would be the Ranchers.
Yes.
Like
Weirdest.
That's my prediction. Ranchers quarterfinal win against the Flash. It's going to happen.
I think the Mad Drops making it to the final would be pretty crazy for me. Anyone other than the Flash and the Shock would be shocking to me. I just think those two teams have been so solid all year.
Okay, ready for mine?
Here's another.
Let's hear it.
Augie and Tyra beat Ben and Catherine. Done.
Oh, honestly, I can see that happening though.
We'll see.
Ben and Catherine don't have chemistry. Mm-hmm. Tyra, she has to work on her forehand, according to Ben. But
oh my God, yes,
it's so pretty
funny.
wicked to me.
So funny. She can't drive the ball.
Yeah. Has she ever played tennis?
So funny, except for professionally.
Right.
Okay, I'm so excited for the playoffs. Are you guys going to any of them?
I'll be in New York.
Nice.
You are going to New York?
I'm going to New York, yeah.
Is it in Central Park?
Yep.
In winter?
No.
It's next.
August.
It's in 3 weeks.
It's like in 3 weeks.
Oh, I thought it was in November.
That was last year.
No.
So the playoffs go right into the championship?
So it's break. So it's Bristol, and then it's San Diego first and second round, and then I think semifinal finals in New York.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to
the finals are in August.
August like 21st or 23rd, something like that.
That's coming up quick.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to San Diego. I might go to New York. So if I go to New York, I'll find you.
How far is San Diego from you?
2 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
I know. Yeah. I'm really lucky because we have a lot of good tournaments in Southern California. Like Lifetime San Clemente is like my home away from home.
Everyone says it's amazing there.
Really nice.
I'm jealous. I'm in the middle of California, New York. So it's like
nowhere to go.
I'm not going to either. They should have done it in Orlando again. It's great down there.
Okay, guys, tell everyone your social medias again so they can follow you.
All right, hold on. Let me take a picture. Everyone smile. Got it.
That's so funny. Okay, you guys can follow me at Obsessed with Pickleball on Instagram and TikTok. How about you guys?
And yeah, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Nico the Lefty. And I think on TikTok, you can also just search for Nico the Lefty. But fun story, real quick, is that when I went to create that account, on TikTok, I didn't actually put like my right date of birth. I just like click, and it put me as like a child. And so I had no access to Nico the Lefty because it thought that I was like, born yesterday. And so I couldn't, so I had to contact support and be like, hey, I'm actually, 38 years old. Can you fix this account? And then they fixed it. And I could never get any of the posts that I did to have more than 0 views. So I just used my personal account, transferred that. And I think I have to wait a month until Nico the Lefty is officially dead on the other end so I can take it over. So just look for Nico the Lefty on TikTok. And if not, it's like Nico with 7 O's and an H at the end.
I feel like anyway. Nico that'll pop up because that's not a
Nico,
common name.
Nacho Libre, whatever you want. And I'm sure you'll find me somewhere.
And I'm ashpb on Twitter and Ashley Michalski everywhere else.
You guys, thank you so much. This was so fun. I really, really appreciate having guests on my podcast so I have people to talk to and I'm not just talking to myself for an hour. And for everyone else, I'll see you on the next one.